I love to let that singing bowl finish its singing. It's just so beautiful, peaceful. So good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Please stand in body or spirit as we sing our gathering hymn in your gray hymnal, Morning Has Come. That's number 397. 397.
We're going to do this as a three-part round. So we'll sing it all together a couple of times so you can learn it. And then we'll divide into three sections.
Morning has come, night is away. Rise with the sun and welcome the day. Morning has come, night is away. Rise with the sun and welcome the day. Morning has come, morning has come. Rise with the sun and rise with the sun. Rise with the sun and morning's a way. Rise with the sun and rise with the sun and rise with the sun and morning's a way. Rise with the sun and rise with the sun and rise with the sun and welcome the day. Yay! That was a great job, y'all.
That's a nice way to get together. So welcome to the Unitarian Universalist congregation of Hillsborough, where we constantly strive to be an open and welcoming congregation to all who seek community and support. We don't worship in one specific way each week, and we don't require that we all adhere to a specific creed or common belief. But rather, we're a covenant community, committed to loving and supporting each other in our individual lifelong quest for truth and meaning in matters of personal faith. So, whoever you are, member, guest, or friend, and for whatever reason or purpose guided you to join us here today, either in person or online, we welcome you. My name's Linda Seligman, and I am the worship coordinator for today's service. And our listening ear today is Jerry Morris. Raise your hand. There he is, Jerry Morris. So if there's anything that's on your heart or mind that you'd like to talk about, you can find Jerry. And our theme this month is renewal. As a lay-led congregation, there are many contributors and many behind the scenes who make our services possible. So we give a big thank you to everyone who helps make this a great place to gather and to learn and to grow in spirit and love and community. And today I have the unique privilege and honor to welcome a chaplain friend. You know, I know a lot of chaplain friends. Having been doing chaplaincy at Rick's Hospital for 2 years. And his name's Brian Bowen. And Brian, who is also known as Vinoda Kodivadas, did I say that correctly? Okay. Is a Vaishnava Hindu practitioner and an interfaith chaplain. We're all interfaith chaplains. With 7 years of monastic experience within the International Society for Krishna Consciousness and 2 years of working as a hospital chaplain. Brian draws on his unique life experiences to share and connect with people of all different walks of life. He feels strongly about educating and supporting those who are on a spiritual path to find positive and healthy ways to move forward in their spiritual lives and to undo negative ones. Aside from his chaplaincy work, Brian offers one-to-one spiritual counseling services, regularly leads kirtan meditations in the Triangle area, and serves as part of the ISKCON Hillsborough temple community on a regular basis. And I went there, and that was a great place. In this week's sermon, Brian reminds us that it's natural for us to seek freshness and newness in life. There is an excitement and a satisfaction we find in attaining such experiences. When we have newness in our life, we feel happy, pure, and hopeful. Yet, our society provides us with only paltry experiences of newness, drenched in consumerism and material attainment. We are urged to get the newest model car, cell phone, clothing item to experience that kind of newness. But unfortunately, it all gets old way too quickly, and it empties our wallets even quicker than we realize. So how can we find freshness in this life that's not only free, but deeply satisfying? What lessons can we learn from nature and from our own life about finding the freshness beneath our own noses? So before we create our time for worship, let's take a moment to share some important announcements. And by the way, first announcement is take your phone, make sure it's on quiet mode, worship mode. And by the way, we'll be enjoying coffee here in the sanctuary at the end of the service. So if you have an announcement, please come on up to the mic.
Hi, I'm Aurora, and I have 3 RE announcements, and this time I'll actually remember them all. Number 1, today, after the service, the kids will be docenting and guiding folks with artwork that they've created for our art walk. Please come. Admission is technically a donation to OCIM, but we do have IOU slips. If you don't have one with you, you can take one home to remind you to bring it and in your time in the future. And so stay for that. Then for parents and for kids who are interested in being chalice lighters, we're going to have formal training next Sunday during RE. So if that's something you're interested in doing, we're going to try to have like a sign-up sheet so that we can more regularly have kids involved in that. So if your kid is interested in that, in any age, youth or elementary, have them come to training, and we'll talk about the chalice and how to handle fire safely. And then third announcement is we are trying to find people who are biologically male to help out with OWL, who will be interested in OWL training. We have one maybe, but they said, see if you can find someone else as a backup in case it doesn't work out. So we are still open for people. It's a really, for those who aren't familiar with OWL, it's a comprehensive health, relationships, sex education for kids through adults, and we're trying to offer it especially for our upper elementary and our middle school age kids. And it's really important to have people who kind of represent the different types of physiology that might be out there. So we really would like some guys to help out with us. The training, it's a weekend. It's the second weekend in August, the 9th through 11th, I think. And then it would be like a commitment in the spring to help out for a period of weeks with teaching the kids. It's a really good program, and it's really important for our youth and our young people. So if you would be interested, we have several women volunteers, but we would like someone who's biologically male to do so. So thank you.
Hello, I'm Alicia, and I just want to remind you that the fiscal year is nearing the end, so if you have any expenses that you need to request reimbursement for, you should get those in to us so that we can process them, and we will be happy to do that. I also had another announcement which is unrelated to that. I'm not sure if this is the right time or whatever, but this weekend we saw Mickey Reed, who used to be a member here, and she is performing in a play in Hillsborough called The Spitfire Grill, which we went to see, and she asked me to let you all know in case you would like to also go and see her. So. Hi y'all, I'm Amy Dark, the program administrator here. We have a Pathway to Membership class happening today at noon in the green yurt, the one on the right. I'm like, green? Yeah, it's green. The green yurt, the one on the right. There's going to be snacks provided. It takes about an hour and a half. Come hang out and learn more about membership at UUCH. And on Saturday, June 8th, which is this coming Saturday, at 3 o'clock, we're doing karaoke here. So come and party with us.
Good morning, I'm Patty O'Connor. I'm just going to make an announcement about our care team. After our listening ear today, the listening ear is taking a break. And it's not because we're overworked, but it's because we want to try and reimagine the care team a little bit. So thank you to all who completed the survey to let us know what you want as a congregation. And we're going to meet and we're going to discuss all that. We have some people who are new and interested in helping us out. So an invitation to see what people's availability for meeting is will be coming out in the next day or so. Okay? Thanks.
Okay, last chance for announcements. No takers? Okay. So, since there are no more announcements, let's prepare ourselves for our time worshiping together. And we'll begin with our chalice lighting. This piece is called Space for Breath by Reverend Scott Taylor. We light this chalice to remember that it is good to make space for breath. With that, let's all take a deep breath. Fill ourselves up. That it is good to make space for the measure of our worthiness that is not measured by the work that we do. The filling one's life to the brim leaves no room for grace and surprise to slip in. So welcome, friends. Let us make space and be renewed.
This is a reading from Letting Go of Certainty by Reverend Rebecca C. Beckett. And I invite you to also approach it as a guided meditation. So if you want to close your eyes and just listen, it's very nice as a meditation. We renew the self by letting go of expectation and judgment. Let go of the idea that you know what breathing should feel like. Just notice the breath as it moves in and out of the body. Let go of certainty. Be with the breath as it is. Allow openness. Allow curiosity. Notice the mind. Each thought that arises, allow openness. Don't judge your mind or your experience. Be loving in your curiosity about each thought. Let go of certainty. Let go of any idea about what you should be thinking, accepting your thoughts exactly as they are. Be with yourself as you are. Be curious about who you are. Love how you are in the world. Gently take a deep breath, maybe even a big sigh. Re-enter the present moment and the stream of your life.
So now please rise in body or spirit as we sing our opening hymn, Meditation on Breathing. And that's number 1009 in your teal hymnal.
We're going to do this in 3 parts. Each part has a section that they're going to sing, and so just follow. You don't need to look at the book too closely, but follow along with the section leader. So we're going to start with this side over here. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love.
That was lovely. Ours is a welcoming community where we find connection, a sharing community where our joys are celebrated, and a caring community where our sorrows are lessened. Each Sunday, we take some time to reflect on the special happenings that have occurred this week among our members and friends. Some choose to share aloud, while others choose to remain silent. And here we make room for both. For those of you who would like to share aloud, please take a moment before we begin to center yourself, collect your thoughts, so that what you share this morning is personal, heartfelt, and brief. Pause for a second. So now please come forward, tell us your name, and share what is in your heart. And when you're finished, you may release a glass stone into the vase on the altar. And for those of you who are joining us online and would like to share your joys or concerns, please put it in the chat and tell us what you would like us to read aloud, and we'll be happy to do that and drop a stone for you. So you're welcome to come on up to the mic. For those of you who would prefer to silently acknowledge your joys and sorrows remaining in your hearts, I invite you to come to the altar and release a stone into the vase in silence while Aviva plays Spirit of Life. And after she plays it through one time, you're all invited to sing it, the meditation song. It's in your order of service. We hold all these things within the heart of this community, both spoken and unspoken. And by remaining silent for a moment, let us consider what has been shared and how we might respond. And let us close together with Amen and blessed be. Amen. Amen. Blessed be. Now let's sing our beloved children to class with the children's blessing, located inside the back cover of your great hymnal.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So just want to thank Linda and Aviva and everyone else who's organizing these gatherings and for inviting me here. I'm happy to be with you this morning. I don't usually write something and then speak it. I like to speak to people, but I actually wrote something today, so I'm going to try to read it and look up at the same time. I hope that it can connect with each of you today. So, I'd like to start with a personal story.
The mic is right there. Sorry.
The mic is good?
Yeah.
Okay. I'd like to start with a personal story. I grew up in Colorado, in a small suburban town. It's actually summer there now, but the winters were very beautiful. When I was growing up in that town, winters were always fun, as we'd look forward to sledding, snowball fights, and if we were lucky, we would have days off from school. I recall a few times before temperatures began to rise and large snows became less common, we had a blizzard and the entire town closed down for the week. Winter was always a time of renewal in many ways. My mother would say that it felt like a time of hibernation, a time in which nature is closing shop, and summer and fall, after summer and fall, and begins preparation for a new spring. And of course, there was the new year during wintertime, when we all made New Year's resolutions, which would last about a month if we were lucky. And so as a child, growing up, one vivid memory I have is the excitement of Christmas. We were raised in a pretty nominally Christian family, where the usual American tradition of Christmas trees and Christmas presents were there. So as a child, the prospect of new toys was always exciting. Not knowing what gifts were under the tree, and the unlimited prospect of getting that one present that would make life feel complete. Our family had a tradition of opening stockings the night before Christmas morning. Stockings would usually have trinkets, chocolates, maybe some gift cards. But what I really looked forward to was the early morning, where the big presents were going to be opened. What would be inside all those beautiful boxes? Whatever it was definitely new. So this memory came to mind as I was thinking of the topic of renewal. And it shows me how it's so there in each of us to yearn for newness in life. The idea of having something unbroken, something fresh and clear, something pristine, is always exciting and attractive. It's a universal yearning that we all have. Have you ever stopped to think about that? What is it that's so fascinating about newness? A new car, new phone, new clothes, new buildings, new relationships. They're all exciting. We're practically obsessed with newness, especially today. Every year I used to wake up early on Christmas morning with hopes for fulfillment from the newness of the possessions that I might obtain that day. I remember this distinctly. But I also remember that every year I would go to bed on Christmas Day with a sense of emptiness and disappointment. Whether I got the new gifts I had hoped for or not, I sensed that the gifts would not satisfy me fully. And now that they were opened, they were beginning their journey to becoming ancient, dated, and antique. The search for freshness and newness in life is not wrong or bad or even unnatural. But our search for it is going on in the wrong places. We may search for newness in our possessions, in our jobs, or in our relationships, but until we learn the art of renewal, then we may be doomed to continue the Christmas cycle of disappointment. Now let's turn from the concept of newness to the idea of renewal. It's funny when we hear the word renewal, and generally it usually reminds us of things like lease renewals, car registration renewals, which are much less tantalizing topics. I don't suppose you'd all like to hear me explain to you the process of renewing your vehicle in North Carolina during COVID, or the details of renewing a lease on an apartment. It's interesting that the idea of renewal is less exciting than the concept of something that's new. In the Vedic teachings, there is a concept called the three gunas, or the modes of nature. Like the three primary colors that can be mixed to make many different colors, so the three modes of nature combine to influence all of our experiences, all of our activities in the physical world. The mode of rajas, or passion, is a mode that influences us for creation. And drives us to get things and to act in the world, to get a result. This mode of nature can be akin to the idea of newness that I discussed earlier. In the mode of passion, there's excitement and happiness in the beginning of our endeavor, but eventually this wanes and becomes disappointment and even distress. The excitement of achieving and obtaining newness soon becomes disappointment when the newness wears off. A higher mode is called the mode of sattva, or the mode of goodness. In this one, one is less inclined to the activity and gaining something for oneself, but more inclined towards finding peace, knowledge, and happiness within. In the mode of goodness, one is content to sit and meditate or connect with nature, or one is willing to do the work for a more steady form of satisfaction. The happiness in the mode of goodness is described to be like poison at the beginning, but like nectar in the end. This sort of happiness is more akin to the concept of renewal. Renewal is what we see all around us in the natural world, outside the consumer walls of our human constructs. The cycles of the natural world are all around us, creating renewal, and we can learn a lot by observing them. In nature, we see cycles of renewal, whether it's in the seasons, in the cycles of day and night, or the cycles of cellular regeneration in our own bodies. It's hard to look somewhere in nature without seeing some sort of cycle that brings about renewal. But what is important to understand is that renewal only comes after some sort of loss. But what is important? I read that one right. Spring only comes after winter. New cells only come after the old ones are shed. So when we are looking for renewal, not just newness in our life, we need to ask ourselves, what do we need to shed? What are we being asked to let go of each season, each day, each moment, in order to make space and ground for renewal? For we cannot have renewal of one life without the death of some sort. So ask yourself today, what is it that you are being called to let go of, to find the renewal that you are seeking? When we let go, we do not have to be afraid. For just as the death of a tree brings the life of a forest, so the death of our attachments can bring life in new and unexpected ways. When we see how the source of all things is unlimited, undying, eternal, and everlasting, then death no longer means the end. Rather, it means a new beginning. In the Bhagavad Gita, the unequivocal holy text of India, it stated, "For one who has taken birth, certainly death will come. And after death, it is also a fact that birth will come." Each of us comes from diverse backgrounds, and we carry diverse understandings of the absolute. Yet I trust that we all have experienced at least a small taste of that which is sustaining all things in this world. That which gives birth to all, which stimulates growth, and which sustains all, and that which at the end enfolds and envelops everything. In my tradition, we address this absolute substance as the Supreme Brahman, or the Supreme Spirit. and in a personal way by names like Ananta, the unlimited one, Vasudeva, the all-pervasive one, or Krishna, the all-attractive one. Beyond this temporary world, where all newness fades, there is an eternal realm, which affords constant and undying newness and freshness. This world can be accessed even by us in this realm, for we are part of it as spiritual sparks of eternal consciousness. So I invite you this morning to let go of that which is dying within you and to simultaneously grasp on to that which has eternal value and eternal truth. Do not be afraid and embrace the source of your renewal. You just might find something sweeter than you expected on the other side of the river of loss. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. I think that is so true that we need to let go to receive. So at this time, on Sundays, we take up a monetary offering to support our social justice work in our community, in this Orange County communities. And this month, our plate offering goes to Orange Congregations in Mission, OCAM. And you can donate by placing cash or checks in the offering basket. And if you write a check, put plate on it. And you can also go to our website and hit the donate button. And thank you for your generosity.
We're gonna have some cool music.
Can you hear me? So we're going to do a kirtan, which is a responsive form of music. And we don't have the words in the hymn, but I hope maybe some of you may know them or can follow along. I'm going to chant the Maha Mantra, which is also known as the Hare Krishna Mantra. And I'll just introduce you real quickly to it so you can just respond after me. Okay, so it goes like this: Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Rama Rama,
Rama Rama,
Hare Hare.
Hare Hare.
So I'll chant the whole mantra through, and then you all respond. I chant it again, you all respond. We'll go for it. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Together, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Good. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. you very much.
Thank you very much for that beautiful music. Please join me in our prayer of collective gratitude found in your order of service. For the love that surrounds us every morning, for the friends beside us, and for the generous gifts just received, let us be truly grateful. And please rise in body and spirit as we sing our closing hymn, number 65, The Sweet June Days. So we get to finally do June, don't we? Yay! And now for our closing words, this is Fire, called Fire, by Judy Brown. Like renewing ourselves is like what it takes to build a good fire. What makes a fire burn is space between the logs, a breathing space. Too much of a good thing, too many logs packed in too tight, can douse the flames almost as surely as a pail of water would. So building fires requires attention to the spaces in between as much as the wood. When we're able to build open spaces in the same way we have learned to pile on logs, then we can come to see how it is fuel and the absence of fuel together that make fire possible. We only need to lay a log lightly from time to time, and then a fire grows, simply because the space is there, with openings in which the flame that knows just how it wants to burn can find its way. Now please join me as we extinguish our sacred UU flame. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Go in peace, my friends, and blessed be.